Okay, we are back. Segment 3 for the Sports Circus Friday edition. The Saturday edition can be found on NBC Sports 920 The Game in the Las Vegas market or in the Southwest, or you can stream the show live at thesportscircus.com. This segment is brought to you by the American Business Trust Company, just like last segment, specializing in investment capital, sales marketing strategies, corporate strategies, mergers and acquisitions. 657-600-1876. Give them a call, 657-600-1876. Now, we were just talking with our WNBA champion correspondent, Alicia Thompson, and she was telling us a little bit about her business back in the greater Dallas area. So, Alicia, please tell everybody where you left off.
Yeah, so, just having the opportunity to work with the success we had with taking the Lubbock High basketball team to the playoffs for the first time in school history. We also beat a state team for the first time in state history. Just a lot of historical landmarks that first year. That was my first year as a head coach, so it was just a lot of fun. But we, as Flow Performance Training and Wellness, which is our business, were able to go in, and so we work with teams, we work with schools, we work with corporations. Just the clientele is endless for being able to go in and share techniques that make teams and people successful on many or multiple levels. And so I do personal training, basketball skills, motivational speaking, just a lot of those things as a part of Flow Performance Training.
How can they reach Flow Performance Training?
They can actually go to www.flowperformancetraining.com. That's a tongue twister. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Telephone number?
Telephone number 206-779-4406. We offer online programs, have different academies that you can join. We offer retreats, just a lot of different things to help inspire people, encourage people to become better people. Just a lot of things. I really suggest people to go check out the website and learn a little bit about what we do and how we're able to help, again, so many people on many different levels.
That's fantastic. And so what's your Twitter handle again?
Twitter is Rochelle T. WNBA. Rochelle T. 43, sorry, WNBA.
Rochelle T. 48?
43.
43. Mm-hmm. Rochelle T. 43.
Mm-hmm.
WNBA?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And for all those people that want to know how they could follow the Sports Circus, you can follow us at the Sports Circus on Twitter. The Sports Circus. And you'll be happy to know that we have about 13,000 followers on the Sports Circus. Now, we haven't been on for very long. We've been here at this particular facility for, maybe 5.5 months. We've been on Fox Sports Radio at NBC for the last few months, and it's just taken off like wildfire. People are loving our student athlete spotlight, and we have special guests, of course, people like yourself that have hoisted trophies from women's basketball to the NBA to World Series champions to Super Bowl champions to boxing champions. And we just keep growing the list over and over. And we have a special music guest that I can't tell you about. It's going to be in 3 weeks, but it is fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to have to tune in, and I'll give you guys at home a lot more information about that when it comes available. Had a conversation to confirm it this morning. It's done. But let's move on back to the NCAA. And do you want to talk for a minute, Alicia, about the women's Final Four? Because I've got a lot of material for the last segment for the men's Final Four. Maybe take a few minutes and talk about that.
Yes, the women's Final Four, as we know, it's March Madness. So much energy, so many great. It's like, as you know, and during tournament time, the competition level just rises up to a whole nother level. Teams are literally battling out for that trophy. And so my pick for the Final Four is going to be Connecticut. Of course, you have to pick Connecticut.
Are they ever going to lose again? It's ridiculous. How many wins in a row have they had?
They're over 100 now.
I think it's like 108.
Yeah, it's 107, 108, something like that.
It's completely ridiculous.
Insane. Yeah.
Can you imagine if they go a whole decade without losing a game? I mean, it's crazy enough for a year, but now you're in multiple years. But imagine going a decade just because we can, because they're already on a path that is uncharted territory.
Your sound is a little staticky there. I don't know.
Can you hear me a little bit better now? I do hear a little feedback.
No.
Huh. Well, just
I'm getting some feedback there. Static.
all right.
Lots of static.
Stay put. Stay put. What?
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I do hear it as well, and I'm not. Do you hear it? Yeah, our engineer hears it as well too. So he's working on getting it fixed. Maybe you can.
Okay.
Maybe you can disconnect then reconnect, and that might help. Let's try that.
Okay.
Let's try that. And I'm going to go on to the men's while you're reconnecting. Okay. Okay, so going back, sorry for technical difficulties. It's live. Things happen live. There's nothing you could do about that, folks. So anyway, we know that Duke, as you could see by this wonderful championship ring, they're very, very good at what they do. Now, of course, yesterday in the ACC tournament, they were down big to Louisville, and they came back and beat Louisville, and now they're facing UNC again for a third time this year, and now it's on a neutral court. But the only problem is it's a neutral court, figuratively speaking, but it's not a neutral court to Duke because that's basically in Madison Square Garden. That's where they're playing. There is essentially a home court advantage there for the Duke Blue Devils, and you'll see that the Duke Blue Devils do very, very well at Madison Square Garden. So it's basically home away from home, and now it's a road game, really, for both, but for Carolina, it is certainly a road game, and I look for Duke to come across and win that game today. That's going to be a very exciting game. And everybody says, well, Grayson Allen, he's a bad guy. He trips people. Let me tell you something. Guys like John Stockton, I think John was probably the dirtiest player in the NBA. And here our WNBA stars back, nodding your head, saying yes. John Stockton was one of those guys that he did everything he could to get a leg up because that's what he did. And he was good at it, but not a lot of people in the public knew how dirty of a player John was. But I know a lot of the players certainly have, and I've heard it from some of my friends from the NBA and that have played with him and against him and said, wow, I'm either glad he's on my team or glad I'm just not on the court with him.
Well, if you have Dennis Rodman agreeing to that, I mean, many thought Dennis Rodman was a dirty player, but even he attested to John Stockton being one of the dirtiest players, and he had to be pretty rough.
Right, and people say that about Grayson Allen with Duke, and I'll tell you what, Grayson Allen is a guy that he does anything he can for his team to win it. And now, Alicia, you may remember this from the NBA. You may remember a guy by the name of Bill Laimbeer. Right? And,
oh, yeah.
Right. Who doesn't?
He coached in the WNBA for the Detroit Shock.
Right. Exactly. And, Bill was that guy. You'd hate him if he was on the other team. You'd love him if he was on yours, like the Bulls did with Rodman. But if you look at it's funny because you could do a side-by-side and have Grayson Allen's picture and a young Bill Laimbeer, and I got to tell you, these guys look a lot alike. Maybe it's his nephew or something that we don't know about. I don't know. But I love Allen's game. I love his intensity. I love his game. You can hate him for what he does on the court. I don't really think he's trying to do too much that the other players aren't doing. I think the cameras are focusing on him more than other people. And so unfortunately for Grayson, he's really the spotlight. And of course, he's getting tripped, he's getting poked and prodded like everybody else, but the cameras are always off him. Or the media, like notorious is ESPN. Oh, well, they did something wrong. ESPN always does. They make everything political. And I got to tell you, that's why I don't watch ESPN for the most part. I do for Pardon the Interruption because I love that show. But what I don't like is the politics. Here, we don't care about politics. We can talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. How you like that? Got to like that. So Grayson Allen is a good player. Duke is going to win. Kansas was upset by TCU yesterday in the Big 12 tournament, and I did watch that game. Did you happen to catch part of that game?
I didn't see that, no.
Well, they led early, and it was a seesaw, but then they led again. It's not like they got to a big lead and just hung on. No, they played with them the whole time. It was a great game. And I think what they did was they exposed Kansas's weakness on guarding the perimeter. And so I think, is Kansas worthy of a one seed? Yeah, they probably are. But are they going to guard well on the perimeter? Probably not, and I think that's where they're going to get bounced out of the tournament. There may be an Elite Eight team. I'm not really sure where that's going to go. We'll get into the bracket in our next segment, but I believe that Kansas was really exposed yesterday, not because of one game, but because of what happened, and we'll pick that up on the other side here of the Sports Circus Friday edition.